Welcome to episode 2 of Drink Nebraska. Well, episode 1.5, because we're going to be finishing up our chats out at Zipline Brewery today. First off, we're going to speak with Craig about the barrel aging program, and then we're going to jump into the kitchen to talk with Mark about their cask program. So grab a beer, sit back, enjoy, and on that note, we cue the music. This is Drink Nebraska. My name is Carl Weiss, and I'm here to take you on an intoxicating journey around the state of Nebraska, introducing you to mixologists and bartenders, brewmasters, and vintners. I'm giving them a chance to show you what they're mixing up, here on Drink Nebraska.
Craig Reier, the Director of Marketing and Events at Zipline, born and raised in Lincoln, and now work at this great Lincoln brewery. So we're standing right in front of our barrel project right now, our ever-expanding barrel project. This all started before I was here even, but we kind of right out the gate did a barrel-aged India Red Ale and bourbon barrels. It's just grown from there. So in addition to that, we've also released a Cabernet-aged oatmeal porter and a bourbon barrel-aged barley wine, and another round of that India Red I was talking about. So we've been accumulating barrels and putting all of our beers into them. So I'll just go quickly through what we got in here right now since we're stacking barrels up. We have Black IPA, which just came out, and actually we just ran out of, which is our new limited release for the winter. We decided to put that in some rum barrels, which is kind of different. You don't see that many. You see a lot of bourbon barrel aged beers. You don't see a ton of rum aged things. What we've noticed so far is it's a really big beer. It's got a lot of kind of roast chocolate character, a lot of also hop presence. Sitting in the barrels, the hops kind of degrade a little bit, but we're getting a lot of almost coconut flavors out of it. It's blending really nicely, kind of a sugary coconut flavor that's coming out.
Very nice.
So kind of unusual, but kind of an unusual beer if you really think about it. Like hoppy black ale
with coconut.
Black IPA is a complete contradiction,
Right.
It's a dark pale ale. So, but yeah, we got those in rum barrels. So all these ones that you see with like the red numbers, kind of beat up ones, those are all rum barrels. Up there you see we have apple brandy barrels actually, and what we've done with those thus far, we released a keg-only version of our Harameku, which is a Japanese term that means signs of spring, but it's actually a Belgian-style saison that we used Japanese Sriracha Ace hops in, give it kind of a lemongrass characteristic. Threw those in apple brandy barrels for a while, and the big thing with barrel aging is it really can bring out some of the characteristics of the beer, but also the characteristics of the barrel. So a lot of apple characteristic, you can get a lot of wood, things like that. Another very, in my opinion, unusual wood to age things in this day and age. So yeah, apple brandy, we'll probably use those again for something else. I don't believe we have anything in there right now. Beyond that, we have, let's see, we just got these new Pinot barrels in. So we haven't even used these yet. Just got these in. We're waiting on some more bourbon barrels also. But bourbon's kind of the go-to barrel to age beers in at the moment. And we're lucky enough to have just released a double stout that we're kind of using. We've done chocolate. We just released espresso. We're preparing to release chocolate double stout as our new limited series after Black IPA. So we had the opportunity to throw some of that in bourbon barrels, which everybody loves a good bourbon barrel stout. So we're going to have our own here pretty soon. I'm really excited about that one. And actually, I think all the way to the top down to there, from the second row down, those are going to be bourbon barrels. We also have you can see up there, we have a batch of the Nut Brown, which is one of our will be our winter seasonal, hanging out in bourbon barrels also. So I think we just brewed another round of that barley wine, and I think we did bourbon barrels the last time. I think we're gonna mess around with these Pinot barrels with that.
Nice.
The good thing, what's kind of cool about our barrel arrangement right now is that we have a lot of different options. We have a lot of different liquors that were in these barrels that will give all sorts of different characteristics. So hopefully we're going to be able to get into blending some of those. So whether it's stout in a wine barrel and stout in a bourbon barrel, put them together, see what happens. We're going to have the ability to do that. So quite a few of the beers that you see here there are some that we have. I think you can even see one there. I believe that's black IPA. That might even be in a brandy barrel. But we're going to be able to do a lot of different things with blending different types of barrels. So we have a pretty eclectic array of barrels here right now. So it's fun to look at.
It is.
In addition to liquor barrels, though, I kind of mentioned it, but the Pinot barrels, obviously a wine barrel. Hiding back there, we did a Belgian-style triple that was really great. It came off really peachy and just really fruity and actually kind of nice American hop profile to it also. But we threw that in Chardonnay barrels. You can kind of see hiding back there. So in addition to all the liquor barrels we're using some nice wine barrels also, and that, like I said, that Cabernet Porter we did, that turned out fantastic. So I think it's kind of fun to branch out from the kind of go-to bourbon barrel, and we have a couple different wines in here now too, in addition to all these different liquors. So.
Right. So my name is Mark. I'm in charge of the Cask Program here. Pretty much what it is, it's a real way of serving beer. It's not as carbonated, so you kind of get more of those flavors that come from the beer itself, from the barley and everything that goes into it, especially the yeast. We add different flavors to them. I source all my ingredients from Lincoln places, farmers from Lincoln or the surrounding areas. So I try to support them, and they support us, and so it's just kind of like this nice symbiotic circle of support and love, for true to source ingredients. Everything that I add into my casks are not extracts. I try to make sure that I cook everything down to add them. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting together a few casks for the Valentine's Day coming up. I got one that I made with strawberries. This one right here, I got raspberries. I try to stay ahead of what everyone else is doing. Essentially, I don't see a lot of creativity. Everyone kind of does the same thing. They add certain fruits. They'll add just like oranges or orange zest and whatnot. And that's all. I'm saying that's fine. But I always just kind of like to incorporate some more flavor into them. I really go pretty robust. That's pretty much the Cask Program in essence and in full. It takes about 2 weeks for them to carbonate. I add sugar to it to get the carbonation. That's about it.
Okay.
And I love the program that I'm doing. I do it for the people of Lincoln. I pride myself, in making sure that everything that we send out is top notch, and so I will always give my best when I do that. So this is the process of pulling a cask here at Zipline. Everything we do is pretty sanitary, but I'll just go ahead and get into it. First of all, I just need to blow off the yeast from the standpipe. Once I'm sure there's beer coming out, slow the flow down. Put that back into our sanitized solution there. This is the fun part right here, is the strawberry extract that I originally made, just all strawberries, the organic, of course. And so this is about 3 pounds of strawberry juice. So I just go ahead and pour that into the cask.
So how many pounds of strawberries did it start out with before you got the 3 pounds of juice?
I think I bought about 6 pounds of strawberries. And I just basically boiled them down so I can get all the juices out in a really gentle manner. I put a little bit of water in it. After I got the berries out, I put them back onto the heat to reduce that water back out. So ultimately what I'm left with is just a pure syrup of the strawberry itself, without like all the pulp from the actual berry.
Right.
So that's a way of making sure that we can get, our volume in there that we're looking for. And just like all the flavor, like I really want to make sure the flavor is apparent in the beer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just our raspberry right here. This is about 5 pounds. And I got the berry itself is less pulpous, so there's not as much pulp. So I actually get more out of the 6 pounds that I had bought too. So then I just add that. And I already when you were here, I already added my third pin, which is the flowers, the flower waters that I had.
The little extract bottles.
Yeah, then the clover honey. Cool. Just pull that in there. Take my little flashlight. My mentality when I'm pulling a cask, I like to make it like a meal in a cask, if you will. Like I like to incorporate various kinds of ingredients. Like I'll put lavender together with maybe some honey or some chocolate and cinnamon, or a little bit of chocolate cinnamon and like maybe some cayenne pepper or whatever. I haven't done that quite yet, but that's in the works. I'm testing that one. When I make test batches, I'll usually pull off into some small growlers and just kind of add the ingredients to that, let it carbonate, and then I'll taste it and sample it, and I'll adjust whatever ingredients are necessary at that point. But when it comes to fruit such as this, it's really just easy to kind of add it in, just because it's a really forgiving ingredient, and so it's not going to overpower, and if it does, it's not like it's a bad thing either.
Right.
So usually the fruit ones are easier to pull than like everything else that I pull. Everything else usually requires some test batches for it to make sure that it's good. I don't know if I answered your question, but these ones are going to go straight. These ones are going to go straight into the market the way they are.
Okay.
Just because the ingredients, like I said, they're just that approachable to.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes it very easy to be like, yes, I like strawberry, I like chocolate, yeah. Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, and then like maybe just the crazier one on the end there with the flower waters, you know what I mean? Like people might be like, that I don't know if I might like that, but let me try it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always make sure that I don't overwhelm the palate, and so that's definitely something I'm always working at. You know, like I'll always taste everything before I add it into the cask. I'll have everyone else taste it and let me know what they think and what they perceive of it. And if all goes well, after I've gathered my data, if you will, then I'll kind of make the adjustments I feel necessary to make sure that the product is going to come out in the beer. And so this part right here is like the only true to style cask at this point. Obviously, what cask beer is, to further explain it, if I didn't explain it earlier, just like in the really old days, obviously, like in the early settlement days, like here and parts of Europe as well, when they would deliver beers to other parts and other countries, oftentimes the beer would spoil, and that's where you get like all your India Pale Ales, because by the time they got to their destination, they would add more hops, or they would add hops prior to the voyage to preserve the beer better. However, there were certain styles of beers that they were just spoiled no matter what. And so fruit was added to them essentially to make it taste better, or to cover up or mask all those off flavors. And so essentially that's what we're doing here. But obviously times have changed where our beers aren't spoiling because we got better holding vessels for them. These are all stainless steel. You know, we wash them very well. And we sanitize them. I sanitize these since last night, so they should be pretty good. So the wooden bungs and the Keystone are the only like still true to style cask portion of it, you know, which is kind of fun. And this is what I like about it. I just like to take my anger and frustration. Cool. And that is pulling a cask right there for Zipline. That's how we do the process there.
Amazing. All right.
I don't need you Teenage children sit on the floor shooting down every starship on the G.